People of the fountain.
I'm Dr. Olatise. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a consultant physician and nephrologist practicing in Abuja.
Are you from Ekiti State?
I'm from Ekiti, Boyin local government.
If you are an African, this program is for you.
I was born in Lagos and grew up partly in Lagos and Port Harcourt. That's my formative years in Lagos and then Port Harcourt. My dad, Mr. Benjamin Olatise, is a retired police commissioner.
I retired from the service about 12 years ago. I served the last at first CID at Lagos. I spent 35 years in the service before I retired.
My mom, Mrs. Selina Olatise, had to retire from government office to take care of us. So she eventually became a businesswoman.
My first baby was born in 1966, the very year I got married. We have 7 in all. They love my husband more than me because I always correct them with iron hand. And I thank God, what they are today, they started appreciating me. That it's not wickedness, and it's not that I'm fighting them for nothing, but to become something.
People of the fountain.
I've really not lived here, yes. Lived partly in Jos, where I had my university education, partly in Ilorin.
Where I finished up at Ilorin Secondary School.
What was in vogue then was police people get several transfers.
We served in all the areas before I got posted to MTD Jora. From MTD Jora to Post Authority. From Post Authority back to Lion Buildings. That was the headquarters of Lagos State at that time. I stayed there I served there for about 2 years before I was posted to Force Headquarters. I remained there for almost 8 years before I had my first transfer to Port Harcourt.
As he was going, we also had to change school at one point or the other.
Can't leave him alone.
How old are you?
Okay, I'm 40.
I was born 26 July 1971.
Is your story exemplary, overflowing with accomplishments in the Ekiti evolutionary process? This program is for you.
Dr. Olalekan Olatise runs a clinic in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, specializing in nephrology.
What is nephrology?
Okay, nephrology is the area of medicine where you study about kidneys and the diseases. So nephrology basically is that arm of medicine where you study about how to take care of kidney diseases. Nephrology is one area of medicine that is still a little bit new. Not too many people. Is new in the sense that in our environment there are very few specialists in that area of medicine, and so we get really busy because and of course because we are few and the disease condition is becoming very common, so there's plenty of work and then consultation.
People of the fountain.
How did you get into it?
I've always wanted to study medicine.
After finishing secondary school with 8 A's.
A1, A2, A1, A2.
The certificate is so attractive that no school that will see the certificate that they will not have interest in him.
I haven't passed JAMB. He was admitted for geology.
After a year, started grumbling that he cannot stay there.
He was doing very well in geology, but he said no. that what he wanted was a university where he could read medicine.
Even to the extent the school management were begging him that next year they are going to have their medicine section. But with crying every day, talking every day, I went with him to Jos.
They now admitted him there, then admitted him at University of Jos, where he read medicine.
Maybe while I was growing up, I saw quite a number of people who were in medical school then and that I used to look up to. So I decided to go into medicine.
Is your story exemplary, overflowing with accomplishments in the Ekiti evolutionary process?
I chose nephrology probably because at that time, one, it was new. Two, it was a branch of internal medicine, and not the subjects that I was good on in medical school. They were all related to internal medicine, physiology, for example. I was quite good in it, so I knew one of the areas to go into would be internal medicine. I decided not to go into gynecology because one, yes, it was very simple while we were in medical school, but when we finished, having to wake up to take deliveries in the middle of the night, I didn't find it funny, so I knew this wasn't the way I wanted to go. I chose nephrology because one, is a new area of medicine in our environment, and then there are few specialists in that field, and I felt I would be able to contribute my own quota in that area. And quite a number of people are coming down with chronic kidney disease, hypertension, kidney stones, people even having kidney failure, going on dialysis or transplant. So it's an area that is really challenging, and it's an area that is growing in medicine. So I feel even if for anything, even if I want to become even if I'm a clinician, I'll be very relevant. And if I decide to go into research, I will still be very relevant, since there are so many things unknown in that area. Also, kidney transplant is becoming very common, and then of course it's one of the areas of medicine in which we in terms of solid organ transplant, is one of the most successful. You've seen people who do heart surgeries, heart transplants, they just live for a few years. But in the area of kidney transplant, patients have been found to live for 20, 30 years while they've been transplanted. So I think it's an area where medicine has really recorded a lot of success.
This program intends to bear the torch of the Ekiti integrity, showcasing the Ekiti origin, religion, culture, and political struggles from the past to the present.
Yes, you attended the University of Jos.
Yeah.
Is that where you did nephrology?
I attended the University of Jos, had my first degree, MBBS, in the University of Jos, and then eventually went back to Jos, the teaching hospital in Jos, to do my postgraduate training. That's my fellowship in internal medicine, subspecialty in nephrology. And I eventually went to the UK, and they also had their own version of the postgraduate training there, MRCP. And then presently I'm having a private practice in Abuja, where I see to people who have kidney diseases in the form of dialysis. We are considering towards the end of the year, hopefully we intend to start kidney transplant as well.
That's your center?
In the center, yeah.
Olatise knew what he wanted from the beginning, so he did not have to beat about the bush in medical practice.
When I finished my postgraduate training, I stayed behind in the teaching hospital in Jos for a very short period, and then worked in Garki Hospital, Abuja, which there at that time was public-private partnership hospital. Was the model then. I was heading their nephrology unit for about 2 years, and then I decided to go into my own practice when I left them.
Are you wondering about where jingles can be produced with the latest technology and utmost quality for you? Come to us at Crystal Audio Studio. We specialize in the production of jingles, music, radio programs, documentaries, and interviews. We are the reputable outfit located at the White House, Owode Quarters by Bashiri Nova Road, off Inyi Road at Ekiti. Crystal Audio Studio. Come check us out.
The postgraduate training gives you all the experience you need. Having spent 5 years training to become a specialist, I just felt it was high time I start seeing my patients in my private place, and that's what we've been able to do. And the patient load has been impressive, very impressive. We get referrals from even teaching hospitals, because of course you know how government hospitals run, where people go, they need consultation or they need to have dialysis done, nobody to attend to them, or one hiccup or the other, either in terms of logistics. They may have problems with power, because dialysis is one area where it's capital intensive, and sometimes the patients come all from a distant place, they can't get dialysis done, and then so they are referred, especially the ones that will have HIV/AIDS. Most government hospitals don't even dialyze them, so they are hepatitis, so they end up getting their referrals to come down. So I think in that area we'll be able to help a lot of people. What I did was to dedicate a particular machine for this group of patients, because you can't say because somebody has HIV/AIDS, he shouldn't, so therefore he shouldn't leave, because they are left on their own. They can't get a place to do dialysis, and of course, we know the consequences.
Would you talk about the landmarks of your career when you were employed by the teaching
hospital? The teaching hospital is a place where the masses come to, and whether they have funds or not, they expect to be treated.
Serve the people. Be a true Ekiti.
What was the factor that drove you into self-employment?
Yes. I wanted to just I wanted a difference, because one, when you're in government practice, is either there is no, the things you want to get done, they take you so long. You have a patient before you, you are asking for a laboratory investigation results. They tell you, oh, the machine is down, or no light, no generator. It's quite frustrating.
Do you feel strongly about any issue concerning Ekiti and its people?
Ekiti State belongs to us all.
Do you hold any opinion that will advance the cause of the fountain of knowledge?
I wanted a practice where I can make a difference. Patients come, they are very ill. You can start treating them immediately, not waiting for one result or waiting for some people, some record person is not on seat, there's no diesel in the generator. These are all the hiccups we have in government setting, and these are the things that make medical practice in our environment frustrating, especially for the doctor and also for the patients, because they come, they are very ill, they expect you to start attending to them. So in the real sense, having emergency as an emergency in Nigeria is so difficult because of these hiccups. And so I felt, okay, if I start something, a very standard, clean practice, I could make a difference to that, rather than wait for us to get things properly done in the government setting.
Yeah, for someone who just practiced for about 7 years before you decide to go on your own, one wonders where you will be able to get the kind of money required for that kind of venture.
What is obtainable in the Western world or out there is not what we have in our environment. In the US, for example, when you train as a specialist, and in fact, before you even qualify, there are companies that will come to your aid, companies that will come and say, look, let us set up the hospital for you, let us set up a dialysis center for you as a nephrologist. all you need to do is just tell them your terms. You go into a kind of partnership with these companies. You decide what you want. They build the centers for you, and then you run it. So, and then you don't have to bother your head with how they get power or how they get equipment into the hospital. That is not what is obtainable in my environment. People graduate, they qualify as a specialist. You cannot compare hospital business with, say, take for example the oil sector, where the turnover is very good. In the hospital setting, is very quite slow. So you can't really get. In fact, it won't make sense to you as a doctor to take a loan to start a hospital, because one, you do that, since the turnover is not very good, you have problems. And then of course, you know how our loans are in Nigeria, it's double-digit loans. At the end of the day, you may not be able to break even.
Are you wondering about where jingles can be produced with the latest technology and utmost quality for you? Come to us at Crystal Audio Studio. We specialize in the production of jingles, music, radio programs, documentaries, and interviews. We are the reputable outfit located at the White House, Owode Quarters by Bashiri Nova Road, off Inyi Road at Ekiti. Crystal Audio Studio. Come check us out.
I had it all planned out, even as I was getting into postgraduate school, that look, this is my plan. And somehow I worked towards it with what I was able to save, and one or two help from family and friends and parents. I was able to put something reasonable together, And there are one or two of my patients who had been seen a long while, who were really blessed, and they felt, look, doctor, you're starting this. In fact, I could remember that somebody, while in Garike Hospital in Abuja, somebody said, look, the day he knew that I was going to start a private hospital, a very wealthy Nigerian said, look, how much do those machines, dialysis machines, cost? I told him, and he immediately said, look, I have one for you. Somebody comes with 4 or 5 million. Doctor, go and start your center. When you're buoyant, come and return my funds. That was how I said, because of course if I had gone to the bank, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I knew my goal or my dream was to set up a dialysis center or a kidney center, but at that time I didn't know where the funds were going to come from. So I think it was just divine intervention because some of my colleagues will practice for so long and they may not have that kind of would I call it luck? I've been able to come across one or two blessed Nigerians who have said, look, we believe in what you're doing. Go and start your practice, and they've been very supportive. So without me going to the bank, in fact, if there's anything I'm scared of, is bank loan, So we've been able to start off, and the place has really grown within a short time.
When you treat them well and they respond well, they tell others.
Knowing fully well that what we have started is growing, and it gives us hope to continue doing what we are doing well, keep saving lives, and we hope to get there eventually.
Are you wondering about where jingles can be produced with the latest technology and utmost quality for you? Come to us at Crystal Audio Studio. We specialize in the production of jingles, music, radio programs, documentaries, and interviews. We are the reputable outfit located at the White House, Owode Quarters by Bashiri Nova Road, off Inyi Road at Ekiti. Crystal Audio Studio. Come check us out.
Zenith means the peak. The Zenith Hospital, Medical and Kidney Center, the peak of hospital practice. It was just a name that I coined, and then, in fact, I think I had sent three names to the Corporate Affairs Commission at that time, and they gave me, they cancelled one because it was, I think somebody else was using that name, and they gave me an option of 2 names, and out of that 2, I prayed about it and chose this particular one.
So is it living up to its name?
Yeah, it is. It is. I've had, yes, the reason why I'm saying this, not because that is what I do, but because I've had, when you're doing something and somebody people commend you, you know that, okay, you're doing something right. I've had patients who people have given up.
There's a day he came to the airport to pick me when I was coming from Georgia. There's one elderly man, then my son ran to him, then the man called to me and the father that we should be praying for this our child, that if not him, he won't be on this earth again. I said, it's only God who can do it. He said, yes, but God used him to bring him back to the world.
People of the fountain.
He was in the hospital for many months. Nobody attended to him, this and that. He said, it's only my son who sat with him, continue counseling him, talking with him, what not to do, what he's supposed to do. He said to the extent he arranged for him, they took him to India where they plant kidney for him. He said that's what made him to be fit on the earth now.
That tells us that if we practice medicine the way it should be practiced, if we attend to our patients promptly, as in they come in, they start getting treated, a lot of deaths can be averted.
People of the fountain. People of the fountain.